Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching the Cuphead show, based on the hit video game with the same name. Now, speaking as someone who's not exactly a big fan of bullet hell shooters, I definitely knew what Cuphead was when it first came out, and I definitely appreciated its art style that basically paid homage to the classic cartoons of the 30s and 40s. But the gameplay simply wasn't my thing, and I felt it was really, really difficult. So I felt that it would have been better if it was a cartoon series that could pay homage to that time period, while also giving us some fun and memorable characters to follow. And that's exactly what this new Netflix series is, giving us 12 episodic adventures featuring Cuphead and Mugman as they go about doing various things that you would see in the game. From trying to avoid the devil as he tries to get Cuphead's soul, to being on Roll the Dice, hosted by King Dice, to meeting the brand new Miss Chalice, voiced by Grey Griffin, these episodes really are pretty episodic in the sense that outside of a few references to past events, there's not much of a plot to speak of, as it's mostly just watching Cuphead and Mugman go through these adventures with various new characters in every single episode. So yeah, given that it is based on classic cartoons of the 1930s and 40s, it definitely manages to match that style both in its story structure and in its animation, which does have that rubber hose style that I've been missing from a lot of animated shows these days. There's definitely no Cal arts here, which is good. But I also appreciate that it takes a few modern touches, such as the more mobile camera that allows for some pretty impressive movement, especially for several scenes involving the devil and King Dice. And I definitely appreciate the more modern timing with a lot of the jokes. So as fast-paced as the animation is, the jokes don't feel like they are anywhere near as slow as they can be in those old cartoons. It feels like it takes the best of both worlds that goes together like peanut butter and jelly. That definitely helps because the writing isn't one that makes too many obnoxious modern references or anything like that. It actually feels fairly timeless, like the cartoons back in the day. And on top of that, the voice acting throughout is pretty stellar. True Valentino and Frank Todaro happen to pull off a great dynamic as Cuphead and Mugman. And since Todaro is also Drawluke from The Vampire Dies in No Time, I'm glad that more people are seeing his comedic stylings. Joe Hanna is also really well done as Elder Kettle, who gets to have some funny episodes here and there, like when he thinks his boys are trying to kill him in the penultimate episode. And Grey Griffin does a lot of the female characters in the show, especially Miss Chalice. And even though she only appears at the very end of the season, something tells me in season 2 she's going to be a bigger player in the things, considering that she's going to be in the game in the game too. So that actually makes a lot of sense here. Also, Wayne Brady is pretty charismatic as King Dice, and I expected as much for a casino guy as well as for a game show host. Since I haven't seen Wayne Brady in a lot of stuff recently, I'm glad he's making a bit of a comeback. But I think my favorite voice actor probably has to be the guy who plays the devil. He sounds so flamboyant and yet so devious that he just makes the devil a joy to watch. And the fact that the series happens to mix high-speed chases and slapstick comedy with some genuinely funny writing on display means that it definitely makes me wonder how cartoons have slipped so far since then, and how this one has managed to do so well by sticking to what have worked in the past. And that's why I think that Netflix is kind of the king of video game adaptations recently. While it's not on the level of, say, Arcane or Castlevania, it's definitely a good show for those who want a good classic cartoon that reminds them of the good old days. That's why I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. See you next time.